Hello, Merry Christmas. 'Cause I was born 1960, and one of my earliest memories is of the Beatles. And I can remember one year, I think it may have been Christmas 1964, the height of Beatlemania. For Christmas, I had a Ringo drum, which was like a real snare drum, because back in those days, I've since learned that Brian Epstein, the Beatles manager, was very keen that Beatles merchandise was of good quality. And this thing it was like a proper snare drum with the springs on the lower skin, and because back then I thought I was going to be a drummer, but it didn't work out. But then going forward a couple of years, Christmas 1966, my favourite thing more than anything was Batman, like a lot of kids then. And so for Christmas 1966, I had a Batman costume. Well, it wasn't much of a costume. One thing I remember, it had a plastic cape that fastened around the neck. And it didn't even have a hood or anything, but it had a kind of a plastic face mask just held on by elastic. But I wore it, and I also had this Secret Sam, it was called Secret Sam, like a secret agent briefcase, which had various toy gadgets. But one of the gadgets was a little camera, and it came with a reel of black and white film. I think it would only work with black and white film. But I had a picture taken of me with the Secret Sam camera, wearing the Batman costume. And I'm going to show you that picture now. So here we go. There, look at that. That is back at the house I was born and grew up in. Christmas Day 1966. As you can see, there's a bit of construction going out because my dad was a very keen gardener, and he was planning to build some frames there for plants. But that's our old house. It was a council house back then, but in later years my parents were able to buy it. But you can see the Batman suit. And even though it's December 25th, I'm still wearing short pants. Yeah, it was funny because your parents would say, "Oh, you can't go out without a coat on," but you were okay wearing short pants apparently. But you can see the quality of the Batman suit, and the mask the wind is blowing the mask, so it's kind of slightly skewed to one side. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. I remember Christmas 1975. I was 15 years old, and for my present I asked my parents if we could get a music centre. Now back then a music centre would be an integrated record player, radio, AM and FM radio, and cassette recorder and player in a unit with stereo speakers, because in the past year or so I got really big into music, like a lot of teenage kids then. And I had my little cassette recorder, so most of the music I had was on cassette. And sometimes you'd even tape record stuff off the radio, like, the top 20 on a Sunday. Or sometimes the Kenny Everett show, which we used to get. And of course, when I remember the first time Bohemian Rhapsody was broadcast on Top of the Pops, fantastic. And it was seeing that I said to my parents, "Can we please get a music centre for Christmas?" And we did. And so I went out with my own pocket money allowance, whatever, and bought A Night at the Opera by Queen. And I played it all over Christmas. I'd play it, then I'd play it again and again and again. Well, it was the only vinyl album I had then. And then I began to buy other albums, of course. Now, the following year, I was aware of that was Christmas 1976, I was aware of Queen's new album coming out, which was A Day at the Races. I wasn't in a position then to afford a new album, but I did buy the singles as they came out. I bought Somebody to Love. But what the reason why I didn't have the album for Christmas '76, the new Queen album, was because I got so much into music, like a lot of other kids at school, I really wanted to learn to play guitar. So I had a guitar for that Christmas, but I persuaded my parents to get me the guitar in October. Because I said, well, if I got it in October, maybe I could learn to play something for Christmas. I don't think I did, but I remember the guitar, it cost like 40 something pounds. I remember going to the little mom and pop music store to buy it. And it came with some pitch pipes to tune it with. But I remember taking it home. It must have been about October 22nd or something like that. I seem to remember. October 20 something. But yeah, as soon as I got it home, I had no idea how to play it. I had the guitar tutorial, Bert Whedon's Playing a Day. But even then, I just played on that thing until like 2 in the morning, just trying to get some kind of sound out of it. And here's a picture. It's a little bit later. It's probably about a year and a half later after getting the guitar. But there I am. With that Landola guitar. No solid wood. I think it was just laminated mahogany with some kind of laminated... I don't know what kind of wood top. I don't know if it was even spruce. And as you can see, even though that's like a year and a half later, the fretboard was already getting deeply stained through play. And yeah, I had terrible hair then, but then a lot of people did, so that was okay. There we have it. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a couple of Christmas memories. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas. Take care and stay tuned.